Hello and welcome to the McCord List today. I'm Rachel McCord, your talk show bestie, and I'm so happy you guys are here. I don't know if this is your first episode or if you've been here a ton with me before, but I'm so happy. I'm so excited, you guys. We have an epic show ahead for you. We have Julie Dove. She's the actress, podcaster, and the incredible author. I cannot wait to share with you her podcast and all of the cool projects she's doing today. Also, we have Alice Ford. This is crazy. She's a stunt woman. That's right. She does some of the most wild things you could possibly imagine. She faces her fear every single day, and we are going to jump in because this show is all about facing your fears, living the life that you were called to, whether we're talking about faith, family, fitness, or anything in between. So this episode is going to crush it. We also have my girlfriend, Dre Renee. She is the host of Hey Babe, Can We Talk? She's amazing. She's so much fun. And she's going to spill the tea on her dating life. We also have Cassidy Forbes. She is an influencer, a content creator, and she is just such a beautiful thought leader and girl who's in the content world. I cannot wait to hear what she shares. It's going to be an epic show. Don't go anywhere, you guys. We'll be right back with the McCord List today. I'm Rachel McCord. I'm Rachel McCord, executive producer, host, and creator of the McCord List today. Welcome back to the McCord List today. I am Rachel McCord trying to get it together, you guys. I got work to do. The pressure is on because I got a pro in the building. Dre Renee is here. Girlfriend. I mean,
I missed you.
I missed you.
But for real.
For real though, I'm like, the only way we can hang out is either on your show or my show.
Exactly.
We need to just keep tossing the ball. Hey babe, can we talk?
In real life.
Did you like that I said that? Because it's
like
the name of your show. You see what I did there? No one's ever done that to you, I'm sure.
Throw it in.
It was a dad joke. No one's ever thought of it.
I love dad jokes.
Babe, you just came back from Vegas?
I did just get back from Vegas.
What's happening? What happened in Vegas?
I was hosting a poker event. There's the biggest tournament in the world, WSOP. So I was working for them doing sideline reporting.
Oh my gosh, how fun was that?
It was amazing. Someone won $10 million yesterday.
No way.
Yeah.
Did he give you a cut?
No, he didn't.
Ew, shady. Okay, why did I assume it was a guy? Was it a girl?
It was a guy, but
man.
It was a historic final table. There was a woman for the first time in 30 years.
No way. So she was up there.
She was
up there, but
she got, no, she did. She got a 1.6.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Wait, so I got to tell you a funny story about Vegas.
Tell me.
I was at the Palms one time, which was the first problem with this story.
I was like, how long ago was this?
It was like,
the Palms is not happening.
No, it wasn't happening then either. But I was there. I don't know how I was working. I was like doing some hosting. You know how like they do the events, they have the informal models.
Yes.
So I was there. And after my shift, one of my friends was like, oh, we've got all these like friends in town. We want to come hang out with you. So they came to the Palms. And this guy is like a professional gambler. Okay. I am the opposite of that. But I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm hanging out, whatever. And then he literally goes up to the table where they roll the dice and then, you know, and he's like, yeah, exactly that. So he has me like kiss it and throw it. Homeboy wins $1 million.
No, he didn't.
Guess how much he gave me?
How much?
0.
Girl, bye. He should have gave you at least like a
boy
little
buy.
Like, come on.
Like, I don't know, like $500,000. The guy.
He should have gave you a little something.
A little something. Everyone said that. They were like, that's actually just bad form. I'm like, that was my kiss. I take my kiss back.
Exactly.
My kiss is what changed the game for you. I got the Holy Spirit rolling in these veins.
A little like 100.
What's wrong with you?
Not
I was
everything.
like, that's so lame.
So lame.
So
I don't
lame.
like that guy.
I want to roll with you to Vegas next time.
Yes, you should. I go to
this
Vegas
guy.
all the time.
And by the way, he cashed out immediately too.
Of
It
course
wasn't
he did.
even like, it was like, oh, got my, I'm like, I was like, excuse you.
Yeah.
We are not friends. If you saw this, you know who you are. You know. Okay, wait. So I hear there's some updates in your love life. I'm married.
Okay.
I need the scoop.
Well, the love life is interesting. Still online dating. I had a couple like crushes this summer. I'm just a romantic. I really am. Like I love love. And so it's like you hold my hand and I'm like, I love you. You know what I mean? So I had a vibe, a little bit of a vibe, but he's young.
He's too young.
He's a little bit young for me.
Is he older than you and just not old enough, or is he younger than you?
No, he's younger than I am, and it's just.
But is he like? Does he have the vibe though? Are we feel? Oh my gosh! Look, cut to her face. Look at her face.
No.
I'm feeling some brightness appearing.
There is a vibe.
There is a vibe. Oh,
Yeah,
I like this one.
But you
Where
know
is
what?
he? Does he live in LA?
No, he doesn't.
Okay, that's okay.
He doesn't
that can
live
be
in
changed.
this country.
Not this country?
Because listen, when you meet people in the poker industry, everybody's from all over the world.
So you just met him this weekend in Vegas?
No, I've known him for a long time.
But we
like
You
vibed
held hands this weekend, and you felt that love. You're in the hot seat today.
I am in the hot seat. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I don't think he's available, and so I'm trying to listen to that. He's kind of in a back-to-back relationship situation, and it's like when people need a minute, give them a minute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I will tell you, I'm just
gotta
gonna
give him a minute.
I'm just gonna say this.
Why?
I just feel like I should say this. I broke up with my ex on a Tuesday, and I met Rick on a Sunday.
Stop. Are you being for real?
And it was like a real.
Well, then, and you know what? Sometimes you meet people and it's really special, and there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, look at that.
We both had to dust off the table.
But did everybody tell you to take a pause?
I didn't ask anybody. I met him on a Sunday. By Thursday, I knew we were going to get married one day.
Stop. How did you know?
Oh my goodness.
Was it a feeling?
Okay,
Did you
so
know about him?
Have I ever told you the story the first time we hung out with his friends?
No.
Oh my gosh. Let me tell you most importantly how he knew.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you how he knew I was the one. All right, so this is really funny. So we met on a Sunday at Sundance Film Festival. We met in the morning at like 7 o'clock in the morning. We had been in the same house together. It was like a 3-story house. I was hosting an event for Dove. My friend was the main sponsor, so he had rented the house, and I was going to prep the whole house and turn it into an event. Rick was staying downstairs, and I didn't even know it. So he wakes up, comes upstairs, and we're the only people awake. We talk for 4 hours. We go to lunch. We talk for 2 hours. We had a cute little makeout
Did you have a little
in the hot tub? It was cute. There was like snow-capped, like
this is
what
like
do you
the
call
first time meeting and hanging?
The whole day. It was like a multi-layered day. And I'm sorry, like hot tub, roof, snow, fireplace. I mean, duh. So anyways, this whole saga. And then that was literally all Sunday. He wakes up the next morning, flies back to LA. I was actually living in Vegas at the time.
What?
I know. I'd started my first company there.
Oh my God.
So I sold it when I came back to LA full time. Isn't that wild? But anyway, so I come in town. So he leaves on Monday morning. We hung out until 7 o'clock in the morning. We were like falling asleep, waking up. I go upstairs, go to sleep like a proper bee. You know, don't be fooled. Let me clarify.
Girl.
We talked all day into the morning. And then he got on a flight at 9 a.m., had a call with one of his, like the guy who ended up acquiring his company. Like he was like, I was so tired. So he flies back to LA, and then I ran downstairs hoping he was still there. He was gone by the time I woke up, and my heart just sank. I was so sad.
Similar little story.
Isn't this cute?
Here.
Is it really?
We had like
in Vegas
2-3 days of just constant talking. Yeah, it was really amazing.
Oh my gosh.
It was a great connection.
Well, then you're gonna love the icing on the top of the story. So anyway, I literally booked my flight the next day. I'm like, I'm going to LA. I have business to do. Okay. So I go into town, and every night that we hang out, he has friends because he's like so social. He's like, every date is like a group date. Like our first official date was a double date. Hilarious. Anyway, so I know, but it's fine. I mean, there's still people all around.
I mean, whatever, doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're social. Yeah, it's going. He likes it, so I better hang on it.
It's going
so
well.
Anyway, I go to his house, and his cousin's there, and his friend who's an attorney is there, and he won't stop talking. Okay, I am here to impress everyone. Like, I'm here to win the crowd over.
Right.
And this man will not shove it. And I'm literally like, you need to stop talking so I can impress him. So finally I was like, bro, share the spotlight. Share the spotlight. Oh, yeah.
Of course you did.
Yeah, I did. And they looked at him like this, and they looked at me, and they're like, well, you've met your match. That was literally the night that turned it on. And then I found out he did have a frozen cake from an ex-girlfriend, so we had to throw that whole plate out.
Oh my God, Richard, you are hilarious. How did we get to the frozen cake?
I don't even know how he said it, but he was like, yeah, I have this cake. And I was like, wait, what? First of all, whatever happens with us, get the old dirty laundry out so you make room for the clean, beautiful wardrobe that's coming. And so I was like, okay, throw it out. I was like, okay, so he takes the cake out. And he's like, had said she had made it as his favorite cake for her birthday. I was like, okay, they have German chocolate at Bristol Farms. You're fine. So then I'm like, he puts it on the table, and it's like sitting there, and I'm like, no, take it all the way out. And he's like, but I want to save the plate. I'm like, you don't need the plate. Get rid of it. You haven't been using the plate all these ancient months. So then, and then I was like, and take it to the trash chute. Like, we fully got it out of the house.
Great.
But guess what? He's 14 years older than me.
See,
age
it's a
doesn't
bit of a difference.
matter. No, it doesn't matter.
I mean, it's different on the other end, but I want to say just before I go, like, I think you have to just be aware of where you are and where the other person is. It's not like it can't work out. It's just I've dated younger before and it was not great. I did 9 years younger, and the biggest thing was hanging out with his friends and them saying, "How old are you? What's going on?" The references, and so that was like the hard thing. But however, with this one,
Oh,
she likes it. No. TBD.
I don't know. I feel
TBD.
like D is already here. It is determined. Because it's to be determined. Oh my gosh.
I can't.
I can't talk to you on
I
camera.
can't even look at you right now.
Okay, plug your show. What is happening? Everyone knows it by now.
Hey babe, can we talk? I talk about relationships. One of my main focuses is about self-love before you get into a relationship, showing up as yourself, finding your person that you can fully be yourself with. Like you told your guy, like, hey, stop it. Quit talking. Rachel, I'm here. You know what I mean? And I think that's the most beautiful gift that you can give to someone is showing up in a relationship where you both can be your full selves. You don't have to hide. You have to do anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're amazing.
You're amazing.
What's next for you? What are you doing next?
Next, I will be just shooting more episodes, doing more poker stuff, and I want everybody to check out my show.
Do you do tons of hosting?
Yeah, I do tons of hosting.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. You're
I love
so
it.
good at
People
it.
do not understand being a host is not a small thing. There's so much that we have to do. So much goes on in our minds.
Yes, of course. And then out of our minds, too. How do we...
We got to be out of our minds to do this.
I can't even keep up. Babe, you're crushing. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you. What do you want? One thing, if someone's out there single right now doing the swipe, what do you think they need to hear? What do you need to hear?
Don't take the apps too seriously. I think in real life it's probably a better choice. I think unfortunately dating online has ruined dating and people don't see people as human anymore. So they're disposable. They don't care. So I'd say get outside, don't stay on the apps and try to meet people in real life. And if you are on the apps, just don't take it too seriously. Take it with a grain of salt. You can meet your person, but don't bank everything on dating online. That's the biggest lesson I've learned.
There's a mic. Should we drop? Like,
Drop
what
it.
on earth? Drop that laugh.
Yeah. Don't take it too seriously.
I love it. I think that's great advice. Get out of your house, right?
Get out of your house.
Get off the app. Get out of your house.
Postmates guy isn't going to be your guy. I had to tell myself that. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, I don't know. They've got some pretty cool
Girl,
guys.
I'm not dating a Postmates guy. No shade to the Postmates, but not for me. Not for me. Not for my lifestyle.
I know you have a tier. You have a tier.
I got a tier, babe.
Does 30-year-old fit the tier? Does he fit the tier? He fits the tier. What? The only issue is the number?
Well, also where he is in life, he's back to back in relationships, and he needs some time to do his thing.
Yeah, but maybe that's what prayer is for. You know what I mean?
know.
Okay, to be continued. You're coming back for that update.
Yes,
You guys
we will.
don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on the Before This today. If I get a scoop in the break, I'll let you know. I'm Rachel McCord. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the McCord List today. I'm Rachel McCord, your talk show bestie, and I am so excited, you guys. I'm sitting down with Cassidy Forbes, lifestyle producer, podcaster. You have so much to do and beautiful content. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's so cool. Tell me about your brand. How cool is this?
Well, I feel like at the end of the day, it all stems from my upbringing, the podcast, the social media content, all of it. But because my upbringing was probably different than like a typical American family, I feel like I am able to put that unique spin on it. But it's just meant to be like a safe haven for people to come to in social media where they can de-stimulate their minds and just feel nostalgic and relaxed.
I love that. It's so beautiful. And I can totally relate with that feeling, bringing your perspective into a different place, a different platform. So how does your upbringing differ from the average American lifestyle?
So I am the second of 9 children, grew up in a really big family, very religious, homeschooled. So just picture 9 kids in the house together all day, every day, trying to educate ourselves and just do life together. And so I think because of that, we were able to learn just a lot about household stuff. We gardened a lot, we cooked a lot, which translates a lot into my content now. And we also just became best friends with each other. And so I feel like that kind of carries through into everything that I really value and try to portray and what I put online.
That's so beautiful. Okay, so tell me a little bit about your journey. So you have such a big family, and you've like I've also been homeschooled, by the way. So faith-based community,
Before it was trendy, before
way
COVID
before it
like
was
made it
cool.
fun.
Yeah.
When it was actually embarrassing.
Yeah, totally. How do you think it's helped or hurt your life in the public eye?
Well, for me, I've always felt lucky because when I tell people I've been homeschooled, they are always shocked, because I think there is definitely a stereotype of a homeschooler not having a lot of socialization or just not integrating very smoothly into society when they reach adulthood and get jobs and all that. And so I feel lucky to say that people have been shocked when they find out. But I think it definitely removed me from the drama. And as a child, and I think now into adulthood, that's like a huge just thing that I avoid also. And I think I tend to stray away from those outward, that dialogue, and try to like look inward more at a person and their life and their upbringing, rather than like the drama that may surround them, especially in LA.
Yeah, 100%. So tell me a little bit about your podcast, The Small Town Girls Anonymous. Tell me about this show.
So I started the show because I love to yap, and I was trying to think ideally of my dream lifestyle. And I thought, if I could sit down with my best friend, I co-host with my best friend, Christy, if I could sit down with her once a week and chat for like an hour or two, and maybe build off of that in certain like merchandise or a tour down the road, that sounds like best case scenario, like an ideal lifestyle. So I reached out to her. This girl and I have been friends since we were like 12, 13. And I kind of like forced it upon her. I was like, give me a year or two. Like, let's see if we're consistent with it for a year or two, where we stand. And lucky for me, she hopped on board. But essentially, it's just like, she was raised same as me. Big family, homeschooled, religious. And so I think the point of it is to kind of just offer a space for girls to be related to, and again, kind of, it's not about pop culture, it's not about like drama, or the kind of like sometimes how you can feel really pressure from self-help podcasts to like better your lives. It's none of that should or none of that drama. It's just a lot of like fun, relatable chat through the lens of how we were raised, and so it's just meant to be kind of like, a haven.
Wow. How have you felt as you've seen it grow and your audience has grown? Like, what has that been like?
Very encouraging. I think, especially considering that I kind of roped my friend into it, it's very encouraging to know that it is growing and that girls are relating. Because at the end of the day, I think for both of us, like, we love women, we love people. We're not here to bash anyone or to bash, men, women, to judge people, to be critical. We're here for like women or men, even if they want to listen, just like come and feel safe and feel just like kind of decompress. And so it's encouraging to know that people see and listen to it, and that they feel exactly how I had hoped that they would feel, and that all my wishes for the podcast are actually coming to fruition.
I love that. Yeah. What would you say to someone who is trying to get started and get themselves unstuck and put themselves out there in the way that you have? What advice would you have?
I think consistency is key, and especially in the industry of creatives and like being a creative, even, in LA, but all over the place. It can be very discouraging, and if you're kind of at the helm of your own ship and you're kind of in charge of your whole ordeal, it can be difficult when you're not seeing immediate progress or not immediate growth, or people aren't really catching on in the way you wanted them to. And it can be really easy to get in your head and think, oh, do I need to pivot? Like, do I need to do something else? And you come up with all these different scenarios. Oh, I need to go back to school. Let me become a nurse again. Let me like get into trades. And so I think just keeping in mind that consistency is key, and that it could take a year, it could take 2 years, it could take 10 years to eventually get where you want to go. If you stick to it and you're authentic to yourself and you keep your own dreams and desires and your own peace top of mind, then you'll find success, whether it's in the way that you thought you would or in a different way.
Wow, that's such great advice. What's one thing that you wish you knew getting into it?
Probably that, I told myself that Christy and I would be strong like throughout and never argue. we haven't argued, but I think I definitely would have told myself getting into it, or even that, or the content, like there will be feelings hurt sometimes and conflict involved, but that's just where communication is key. And I would have just remind myself, like, you can resolve anything by simply talking through it and being honest.
Wow, that's such great advice. I feel like I get stuck in that sometimes because it is a lot of pressure when you're doing a show and you're giving everything your all and you want it to be perfect and you're just making the natural human mistakes. And then you can get frustrated with yourself and then kind of like spill out onto others. I'm like the queen of like, I'm sorry. It gets like a little Sour Patch Kid. First you're sour, then you're sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, I think it's like almost like learning how to like manage your time. I'm having to learn that right now. Like learning how to say like, maybe this is a little bit much for me. We actually, with the McCord List, we also have a media network. So we develop, distribute shows. And so we do a lot of podcasts actually for other artists. And it's a journey, right? Like I feel in my season of life right now, I'm juggling so much. I'm juggling my show, I'm juggling other people's shows, and I want to be a good steward of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that.
That's so cool. So have you been able to do more? Like, are you getting ready for maybe doing a tour potentially?
Definitely not quite yet. Not quite yet. I said we haven't even met our year mark yet. So we've been doing this for a year. And I told her, give me 2 years. So we're still very in the beginning stages of it. I do have a lot of high hopes for the future. Right now, because of the fact that she's still based in Michigan where I grew up and I'm here, we're simply flying back and forth like once every few months to batch episodes. And like, I think next steps for us is getting it filmed. And then after that, we'll see. I mean, tour is definitely in the cards, but I don't know how long that'll take.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Okay, so what advice would you have for someone who wants to have their own podcast? What do you think are the like things that you've learned along the way?
Honestly, ChatGPT is your best friend. I don't know if I want to like necessarily plug AI in the field of being a creative, but when you're creative, some of the logistical aspects of making something like a podcast come to life can be really frustrating, and you may not know everything you need to know. So ChatGPT helped me as far as what equipment to get, where to get the most affordable equipment. I can't believe I just acknowledged ChatGPT as like the main.
I think that's great advice though, because I mean, the truth is that if we can utilize this very real thing, I was thinking about this the other day. It's like, it feels like this bad word that like, oh my goodness, don't say ChatGPT. I'm sorry, everybody's using it. Look at the numbers, look at the stats, right? It's like, it's almost like if you're like at the like when the Ozempic came out, right?
Oh yeah.
It was almost like, come on, bro, like, you know, right? So it's almost like
it was like
ChatGPT.
taboo.
Yeah, there are some tells. There are some tells that someone's been using in chat. I think it's in the emojis. The emojis are a big tell.
Oh, and chat loves to do like the large dash.
Yes, the large dash and the bold and the like.
Yeah.
No one talked like that before. But you know, I think if we utilize the opportunities that we have, if we utilize what's sitting in front of us, I think that's just being a good steward of the opportunity.
Yeah.
And let it help you be a better version of yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, all that to say, chat helps you with your weaknesses. Chat can be your strength.
I like it. I love it. Well, I think for me, it helps my team be more effective for sure.
Right,
like,
exactly.
If I can help them have a little bit more time, maybe to go home with their families, or you know, just to kind of scale ourselves, I think that that's amazing. It's scary. I'm terrified, but like in the best kind of way. You know what I mean? It's like we realize that there are going to be challenges with anything, but I think the best thing any of us can do is embrace what is.
Yeah.
Because you can't move from that point. If you like sit there with your head buried and like, I don't want to, like, it's not helping you. It's like you're going to experience, it's almost like thinking becomes things, right? Thoughts become things. Like if you think it's going to mess you up and you don't embrace it, then it might.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
And
awesome.
I think similarly people felt the same when social media came out and people were hesitant to make it their career because they're like, is this reliable or is this healthy? But eventually you have to like accept that it's now like a part of society, and
it's probably not healthy.
And it's probably not. No, but it's also probably not going anywhere. So may as well use it in whatever way you can.
But it can be. I think you have to make it work for you.
Yeah.
Cassidy, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. This was so fun.
Such a blast. Okay, you guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the McCord List today. I'm Rachel McCord. Welcome back to the McCord List today. I'm Rachel McCord, your talk show bestie, sitting down with the Alice Ford girl. I'm so excited. What on earth? Author, speaker, stunt woman. Is there a TV host? Is there anything you don't do? I'm just curious. Anything?
I'm still trying to figure that out.
Have you left anything for everyone else? This is amazing. Your book, 10 Steps to Happiness?
Thank you.
You're wearing my joy color. How are you feeling?
Yellow is it's a happy color.
It's a happy
I think
color.
It makes everyone happy.
Yes.
Hence, I think I matched well today.
How did you get started in stunt work? That's so cool.
Yeah, I actually did 3 sports in college. I grew up in New Hampshire, and my dad was a really big mountaineer, so we spent a lot of time outdoors, and that meant I spent a lot of time climbing trees, falling down, scraping my knees, swimming, and I went to college. I did gymnastics, track and field, and springboard diving, so it was a really easy transition when I got into entertainment. I met a bunch of people in the stunt industry, and they all said, "You should be a stunt woman," and I said, is that a job? And
You've swam with sharks. Mm-hmm. You've jumped off cliffs.
Yes.
What on earth? Tell me what you've done. This is so wild.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely an adrenaline junkie, and I love trying new things. I've jumped out of planes, jumped off buildings, obviously for work, swam with sharks, hiked some of the tallest mountains in the world, some over 20,000 feet, traveled to every continent. So I love exploring, I love adventure, and, you know, I don't really like any day to be the same, and I've definitely lived a life. That's that.
What a fascinating story. Okay, so I gotta just ask this for sure. Like, has it ever gone bad?
You know, I've been really lucky to not ever gotten into anything that dangerous. I've been in some hairy situations where I've been really afraid. But I have a lot of experience, and I also know how to manage my fear level in being able to still, even if I'm terrified, think clearly so that I don't obviously get into the situation where I would need to be rescued or, you know, worse.
Yeah, okay, let's talk about that, because I think fear is so crippling for so many people.
Yes.
You're an adrenaline junkie, which basically means like you're either running full on to the fear or you just don't even feel it. So when you feel it, what do you do to keep a clear head?
Yeah, and I guess I do want to mention also that I am afraid a lot, but it's how you move forward with having that fear. And for me, it's always like doing things gradually. Like, I have been terrified the first time I went camping solo, but now I camp solo all the time and I love it. But the first time I went in gradually, I camped next to my car. I had an exit strategy. If in the middle of the night I was like, absolutely not, I got to get out of here. And that was my way of just dipping my toe in. And so just dip your toe in. Anything that scares you, dip your toe in. And then the next time you're going to get half your foot in. And then the next time your whole foot. And then eventually you're not going to be as afraid. You might still have a little bit of fear, but you're able to conquer that fear way more so than you would have if you just said, okay, I'm going to go from 0 to 60 all in this one bite. Which you can do that too. Like, if you want to jump out of a plane, I definitely think that you should.
Please don't tell anyone I want to do that. I let the record show Rachel McCord does not want to jump out of a plane. No, Lord, please. don't make me face my fear like that. I got faith, but I'm not trying to do I'm the kind of girl, I'm like it's so funny because people always say to me, like, but like, why are you like worried, you know? Like, you know, it's okay. Like, you know, when your time to go is, I'm like, I don't want to halfway die. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be in that situation. I was like, wow, we can't believe she survived. I'm like, I probably can't believe either. You know, it's like, I want to fully be here until I'm fully not.
Yeah. Well, and I will say too, like, as a stunt woman, you live in like a state of fear a lot of times because you have no idea what you're going to get into when you show up on a movie set. Sometimes you get a rehearsal, sometimes you don't. And the director just says, hey, I need you to do X, Y, and Z. And you're like, oh, all right. I'm going to figure that out right now. And you might be terrified. I've had plenty of times. I mean, I get nervous every time I do a stunt the first time, but it's after that first time that you're like, okay, I've now been able to do it and or visualize it and how it's going to go properly. So it's a lot easier that second time to say, okay, I'm still a little bit afraid, but I now have the confidence built up to be able to do this properly. And that is what like fighting through your fear helps you build, is like confidence and resilience. So you know, our brains are just like our muscles. They need a lot of workout too. So
I love this. My whole life, I in the past, I've dealt with a lot of fear. And there was a point where my husband said to me, he was like, you know, Rach, he's like, it's not, being brave is not the absence of fear. It's pushing through when you feel it. You are so brave. You are so brave. Is that part of one of these 10 steps to happiness, is being brave?
Yes, absolutely. So there's obviously 10 chapters in there. Each one kind of helps you restructure your life in a more positive way. And one of those is challenging yourself, trying new things, getting over some of your fears, also getting rid of some of the people that might like gurgitate your fears and make them worse. So getting rid of some of those relationships where people are going to make you feel more fearful, so that you can live a life that's more confident and fearless.
What does that look like? That's so cool. What does it look like though when someone's like regurgitating your fear? Can you give me an example?
Yeah, sure. So a lot of times, and I think especially as women, right? Like I just got back from Egypt a couple of days ago with a friend of mine, and multiple times we had people reach out to us and say, "Oh my gosh, be careful, it's so dangerous there." That's like, so if you are already afraid, people like that are then making you feel more fearful because of their fears or things that they heard you should be afraid of. So if you were living in a state of fear, that would make you feel more scared. We had a fantastic time. There was nothing to be afraid of, but everyone has those people in their lives where you tell them, "Oh, I really want to do this," and they say, "Oh, I don't know if you can," or "I don't know if you should," or "Oh, I don't," and they really make you feel small and feel incapable of doing things. So if you have those people in your life, it's either better to just not inform them a lot of the times, not make them the first person that you call when you're wanting to try something new or change your life in a more positive way. Do it first and then share and say, "I know that you thought that this was going to be scary, but guess what? I did it and I had a great time."
Oh, that's such great advice. And I love how you explained it, because it makes me think as a mom that as parents, we need to make sure that we're not being that voice for our kids. Like, "Oh, be careful, be careful." It's like, okay, Sparky, things are going to happen, but obviously we need to use wisdom, and still we need to be brave. Absolutely. What are some of the other steps to happiness?
Yeah, I always like to be outside in the fresh air. I think going for walks, I encourage people to get 10,000 steps a day in my book, and make sure that they're outside in nature. Nature is very therapeutic. Getting to get rid of city noises, hear the birds, exercise, eat well as well. So there's a whole chapter on healthy eating, on fitness as well, and also minimizing our stresses in our life, also downsizing. So a lot of people get really stressed out by an abundance of stuff that then either gives us anxiety or depression, because we're just surrounded by a bunch of stuff and we don't know how to clear that. It creates clutter in our mind when we have clutter in our space. So there's also a whole chapter on kind of decluttering and getting organized as well, so that we can have a clearer mind.
I love it. Okay, what inspired you to write this book?
I actually talked to a lot of people that have followed me on social media for years, and they all said over and over again, "You're always so happy. And so how can you share that with us?" And I thought, oh, this is an easy way for me to be able to share like the things that are really important to me in my life, and staying positive, staying happy from my years of an athlete, from my years obviously in the movie industry, and all the different stressors and things like that. And so I put all of that together in this book so that I could share kind of an easy way for people to restructure their lives and find some more joy.
Wow. I love that. Okay, so if someone were facing depression right now and happiness feels so far away, I would probably tell them to take those baby steps towards it.
Yes.
Is there some other advice that you might share with what you've shared with your book?
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you're really at ground zero and you have no idea how to kind of get out of where you are, one of the first things that I do when I'm kind of in a state of unknowingness is I take a piece of paper, I draw a line down the middle, and I just write down all the things that I do in a day. And then I figure out the things that I want in my life, and I write those on the other lines. And anything that's on this left side of the column that isn't taking me to my goal, whether that's happiness or a new job, I cross it out. And I say, I'm not doing that anymore, because it's not taking me to where I want to be. So that's a really easy way to just get started and say, okay, I'm spending a lot of time doing all of these things that are really not helping me in my life go anywhere, so they need to go.
Wow, that's so powerful. Where can we get your book?
You can get it on Amazon. It's available in paperback or as an ebook.
I love it. You're amazing. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And thank you for sharing your steps to happiness, your steps to joy, and for being so bold. I'm like, you could write so many books. I hope you do one about parenting, like for the littles, right? Or like a kid's book, your 10 steps to happiness.
Yeah, I definitely am going to write more books. I definitely want to write some on adventure travel as well, since I live and breathe that too.
You are so cool. You're probably one of the coolest people ever. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And thank you guys for tuning in. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the McCord List today. I'm Rachel McCord. Welcome back to the McCord List. Today, I'm your talk show bestie, Rachel McCord, and today we are sitting down with Julie Dove, podcaster and actress. Hi.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I'm so excited. You've done
excited.
some cool stuff in your career.
Thank you. I feel very blessed.
How did you get into acting and doing the voiceover work?
Well, it's kind of a long story with lots of detours, but I'll give you the brief version. I wanted to be an actor from the time I was 13, and I ended up, I'm from a very tiny town, which is now a large town called Princeton, Texas, and I ended up going to college studying acting and was afraid to kind of leave my little small town area. So I became the high school drama teacher where I was from, and then after that I was in seminary for a while to be a minister, and then I ended up working part-time at a radio station and was in the music business, and there was 2 marriages in there that ended in 2 divorces, and I was 29 and facing my second divorce, and I said, well, it's time to follow your one true dream, and so I moved to Los Angeles in December 2001 with my music business job, and left that in 2003, 2005, and been pursuing acting full-time ever since, and have been fortunate to book a lot of work, and always wanted to get into podcasting these last several years, and celebrating the 1 year of our podcast tomorrow. So.
Oh, well, thanks for hanging with me to celebrate
Yeah,
that.
I'm happy
cool.
to do it. Yeah, it's my podcast's birthday.
I love it. Wow, what a beautiful story. Now, what was that like? Do you remember that first year when you moved to Hollywood? Because that must have been a massive shift.
Yeah, I mean, I was in Texas until 1996, and I moved from Nashville, so I'd kind of gotten a little bit used to being away from home, but Nashville at that time was still kind of, small townish as well, and I was in the country music industry, which is a very small community, so moving here was like a really big deal. I only knew like one person and a couple of my coworkers that I had been working with long distance, but I'd never met them in person even, so it was kind of a big shock. But when I started taking acting classes, and I took like every improv comedy class that you could take over my time here, I just kind of got into those communities and made some friends. And I'm friends with a lot of those people still today, so that's been really great.
I love that. Okay, let's talk a little bit about your podcast. So you went in a very unique direction, and there's a huge fan base there. Can you talk about your show?
Sure. It's True Texas Crime, The Significant Life of Angela Stevens. And we intend to do more stories, but Angela's story is the first one we wanted to tell. Angela was a girl that I knew in my school. Like I said, small town, like we weren't friends, but I think in the whole high school, which was grades 9 through 12, there were maybe 350 people. So everybody saw everybody passing each other in the hall. So I knew her, and I knew one of the 3 boys that murdered her. And her story just always really stuck with me. It happened the summer of my senior year in 1988. She was 16, and I just thought about it a lot over the years, and I finally got the courage, with help from someone from Princeton, that wanted to partner and executive produce with me. And we went to her family and asked them if we could tell the story, and that's how we got the story out there. And what we wanted to do differently with our podcast is, I feel like a lot of true crime is about the murder and the trial and what happened with the killers, but we wanted it to be about Angela and giving voice to the voiceless, and so that her family could feel like that they had a voice and to be able to say things that they didn't get to say at the time. Victims, even now with all of the activism that we have and all the organizations, victims don't get voices. So you can imagine what it was like in a tiny southern town in 1988 when a girl was murdered by some boys, and part of them were football players. And one of the big things that really made the story stick with me is when Angela was murdered, people, their first comment was, "Oh, those poor boys ruined their life in one night." And that never left me.
Wow. Wow. That's pretty sad.
Yeah, but I will say the podcast has provided a lot of healing for a lot of people. So the family really feels like it will help them through some healing they didn't even know that they were going to experience.
Yeah, I can't imagine that. And you also went through seminary, so
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was a great experience for my faith, and I'm glad I did. It was Southern Methodist University, Perkins School of Theology. I was there for almost 2 years, and I did enjoy when I was there, but I made an A in preaching and like a C in Old Testament. So because I was good at getting up and speaking about God and telling stories and being able to, share my experience that I think would help others through their faith journey, but I wasn't too big on like the specific details of it, So it was all about the creativity and performing and stuff. But there was and is a sincere love and relationship with God. I'm kind of taking a break from organized religion right now, but my love for God has not changed.
Yeah. It's interesting. I'm a believer, and I've talked to so many people from all different walks of life, of course, with the show and whatnot. And what I've seen is that a lot of people, have such a love for God, but I think there's so much with religion, with church hurt, with confusion around all the things that it can make it difficult.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. What a journey that you've had.
Thank
and what
you.
you're doing. What do you feel like is next? Do you think it's going to be a new story for the podcast?
Yeah, we actually have a couple of stories that, you do a lot of pre-research, and our goal is, like I said, with the family. So we've talked to a family that we want to tell the story, and they're not fully on board yet. And they did say, well, you don't have to have our permission, but we want the family on board. That's part of like the story we want to tell, because there is just so much, let's talk about murder, and it's like way beyond that we want to try to go. So we're working. There's going to be a season 2, and hopefully we're going to announce soon. Like, I really hope so. I feel like we're so close. And my partner and I was just talking to her before I came here. We truly were like, we're praying about it. We're praying it's going to happen. And then I'm an actor, and I'm auditioning a lot, and just seeing what's going to be put in my path next, and just looking forward to that.
That's so fun. Are there any career highlights that you've been like, that was a moment that was pretty cool?
Yeah, I mean, I did my arc last summer on Days of Our Lives. I played a budding serial killer, Connie Vaninsky. She was stopped in her tracks. But so that was like a lot of fun, because, people don't cast me in that kind of role. And that was part of the lure of the character, is that, people thought she was this innocent person, but she was going around trying to kill people, ruining their lives and stuff like that. So that was a highlight. Part of what made me want to be an actor is growing up. When I was 13, my dad died, and I kind of fell into the world of watching soap operas. In 1983, there were like 16 soap operas on the air. So it was a great place for a small town kid to escape reality. So to be able to like specifically achieve that childhood dream was pretty phenomenal.
Feels like quite a nod from Dad. And
I absolutely.
Yeah, and I love that you got to do Days of Our Lives.
I know, yeah. And I watched Days growing up, so it was just really, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful experience. I'm so grateful for it, and it's provided opportunity for me in so many other ways too. And I've met so many people,
Yeah. It's so interesting, because I talk a lot when we start out our shows about different things. And I've talked a lot about how hope deferred makes the heart sick. And there's so many people who dream of doing what you've done, to be brave and move across the country to LA and take the biggest bet on ourselves, and in what could be having no idea of what it's going to go, how it's going to go. How do you feel looking back at that choice to be brave?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of leaping without a net in my life, and a lot of people have been scared for me, and I have a strong relationship with fear, so I'm constantly working through it, and I try to think faith over fear. I have no regrets, but there have been a lot of valleys along with the peaks. And when I'm in the valley, I just have to remind myself, there'll be another peak,
That's good. I feel like we all need that reminder because sometimes
Yeah.
the valleys can feel so low and so long, and journeying through life, you're going to face those ups and downs.
Yeah.
And I think so many of us, we are waiting for the end. We're waiting for that to stop so we can get to the peak and just stay there. But I think life is so consistently up and down, and you have those journeys.
Yeah, I say this phrase that I actually heard in a 12-step program, life is in session. It's not, there isn't going to ever be a calm moment. You think, oh, I'm going through a hard time. Everybody's going through a hard time. Like, everybody is truly fighting a battle we know nothing about. So let's just try to, learn how to get through each day the best we can.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much for coming.
Oh
on
my
the
gosh,
show.
thank you for having me, and thanks. And our podcast is available wherever you can listen to podcasts, and I appreciate getting to be able to talk about it on here.
So cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you guys, that is our show on the McCord List today. I'm Rachel McCord. So excited that we got to connect. I will see you next time.